welcome back to the final day of VCT EMEA before we head to that all-important playoffs. We're coming to you live from the Riot Games Arena here from Berlin, Germany. And oh my, do we have a day prepared for you. I am your host, Yinsu. I'm once again in the studio with Ash. Am I getting sniped right now? With Ash and a very special guest. Definitely not because there are 3 French teams playing today. Lou,
Absolutely.
welcome to the broadcast. It's great to have you here.
I mean, it's a pleasure being there, of course, surrounded by beautiful girls, and it's an honor for me to be there also. I'm Lou from the French broadcast, also a Game Changers player for Zerance Mint, and we have a tournament this weekend, so I'm going to have a blast tonight and then go back home and play officials tomorrow.
How was Paris? You played that one, right?
Yes, we did. We play like LANs together with my teammates, and it was really fun. And now we're playing for like the equivalent of Ascension for Game Changers, so the contenders this weekend.
Oh, okay. You're going to have to introduce yourself now as well, Ash.
Oh, I have
Please.
to. I'm so bad at introducing myself.
Yeah.
I've been here all stage, though. You guys know me. I'm Ash, and I'm just a caster. I'm not as cool as Lou. Like, I'm not out here
Don't say
competing.
that.
We'll find something for you, Ash. We'll find something for you. You're KC's #1 fan. That counts.
Okay. I'm
Yeah.
the Mitchman of KC, I guess. Yeah.
The Mitchman. Okay, yeah. I don't think you want to be that.
Well,
but
actually, no, never
give
mind.
it to
Hold
you.
on.
Yeah.
I didn't think that one through.
I'm not sure that you're as delusional
Yeah.
as Mitch, about Casey. So
I'll give that to you.
I'll take that. I'll take
but
that.
let's take a look at the standing because we have just one last slot left, and that is going to come down to NAVI, Team Liquid, and Gentlemates. I'm going to give you the stakes. Make sure you're listening, guys. They're not that difficult for today. Luckily, if you're a NAVI fan, all you need to do is for NAVI to win, then they'll be going through. If you want Gentlemates to lock in, however, you'll be cheering for Gentlemates to win, of course, and KC. I know that's going to be really difficult for the Gentlemates fans to get their head around cheering for KC, but that's what you have to do if you want your team to lock in. And for Team Liquid, they also need Gentlemates to win, but they also need Vitality to as well. And contrary to popular belief, Ash, I've seen a lot of people on social media think that Liquid are out of contention. They're not. They're still in it. They have a chance.
And that's massive for them, because imagine ending out yesterday's game, that 0-2 up against Fnatic, and then going to bed thinking, okay, we're done for this season, and then you wake up and you're like, wait, okay, there might be a light at the end of the tunnel. That's something to look forward to.
It's so Team Liquid. And this is going to be a tough question for you, Lou, because many French teams playing today. Who do you think is going to make it through? Who's going to be the last slot?
I mean, I asked this question to many players in interview this week, and their answers were pretty much the same. Like, they saw like Vitality, KC, and NAVI going through, and I think I agree with them. Even though, like, my French heart, I mean, I'm dressed in pink, so I'm a bit of an imposter here, of course, rooting for Gentlemates, but I think that NAVI will go through.
You agree, Ash? You think Navi's going to go through as well?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the Team Liquid
Me too.
hopium train. I'm going to be honest. I feel like it's a culminating and appropriate way for them to make it all the way to playoffs, like you were saying.
I 100% think that if there's anybody that's going to do the miracle run, that's going to pray for others' downfall, it's going to be Team Liquid. They've done it before. They're going to do it again. But let's really quickly talk about this first match of the day, NAVI versus Gentlemates. How are we feeling about this? Are you okay? You all right, Lou? Everything's chill?
Yeah, I mean, I'm chilling, I mean, NAVI haven't been showing the best form. I mean, they're not at the prime of the team, and their players themselves say it. I was really, like, touched by what Angel said on Twitter. I think it was earlier after they lost. I mean, it's really rare to see, like, players being so, I mean, honest, and like, it was really touching seeing him, like, being disappointed, and that's also something that you can see from the other players. So, I mean, I hope that they, like, get to bounce back, but at the same time, for France, I mean, we're, of course, rooting for Gentlemates, so...
I can't blame you for that. I can't blame you for that, right? But I think overall it is a really difficult situation there. It tells the tale of how hard this season has been overall within 2024 for VCT players and everything like that, because it really comes down to that endurance. Especially, I feel like the mental game has just been so important this particular year.
I'm very glad you guys mentioned Angel, because I had the chance to sit down with him a little bit earlier, and he gave some very, very honest answers about how NAVI are currently looking. I'm now joined by NAVI's IGL Angel. Hi, Angel. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been able to speak to you. So I wanted to get your thoughts on a few things. First of all, this is very uncharacteristic, right, of you and your team. You've never kind of been through a slump like this. So what's been going on? Why do you think that you haven't been able to find an important win?
usually when this kind of things happens to a team, when it's like nothing bright and you like 0-8 in the league, it's usually nothing like, it's not something like one happens, right? Usually it's like a lot of factors which influence the result. It's like loss of confidence, forgetting like about fundamentals, when you should pick, when you shouldn't, like losing some after plans, and then it's like goes and on and on and on, and we have like 50 shades of mistakes in the starting 4 games.
How do you bounce back from this? How do you make sure that you manage to make playoffs today?
We should keep working. Like what we did basically, we have a last league match in like an hour or so. So we just kept working, and we need this win. I think the win can change everything. We can't like influence the outcome, but we can influence the process, right? So we just like, we wasn't like relaxing. Obviously, we was fighting. We're normal human beings. We was like looking for who's responsible, how's responsible, and stuff like this. But we didn't disband it yet, which is good. We still like believe in ourselves. We just need like a bit of luck, a bit of like this feeling that we can win, and it can be all fixed.
Yeah, and then momentum, right? You get the one win, you can have the momentum going into playoffs. Now, when it comes to the word responsibility, I think a lot of people, your fans maybe, are also maybe looking for something to blame, and I think maybe you and your coach Latex kind of take the brunt of that. So when it comes to your new coach, who's really not new, right, to you guys, do you think that has anything to do with it? Is it because you are getting used to his philosophies and so on?
Changing coach mid-season is very weird because you don't have time basically to build something new. It's like you can't just you don't have like a preparation time properly. You have like 2 weeks fast, then play, and if like you did some mistakes or something, you don't have time to fix it. So I don't think it's Latex mistakes for sure, or he's somehow worse than Eric, if someone thinks like this. No, I just think it's just very uncomfortable to change coach mid-season.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure too, right?
Yeah,
especially on a team like NAVI.
Yeah, and because of this, you can just easily forget about literally some basic stuff, which you have to remind to players, because otherwise it seems like a lot of players were just forgetting like when they should pick, when not, when they should just double pick or just like stay away from keyboard and you win the round. Like just some basic stuff, and probably because of like all this stuff happening mid-season, it can influence.
And very last question, I feel like we got to give the fans something to believe in, right? As you said, you guys are not going to give up, you're going to stay positive. Is there anything that you would like to say to the NAVI fans?
First of all, sorry. Obviously, like I have to say sorry for this kind of split. I just want you to know that we're not giving up. We're trying our best, and obviously it's very hard. I want to tell you the truth, it's very hard. It's like this kind of moments is very hard to live through, but I believe in my teammates, I believe in my coaches, I believe in myself. So maybe this is a day when everything will change.
I mean, if there's anybody that can bounce back, Angel, it's got to be you and the NAVI boys. So we believe in you. Thank you very much for joining me, and good luck today.
Thank you.
It seems silly to kind of reiterate that point, but it is really hard. Ash, we've heard it from all of the other players in this league. It's stressful, it's not easy, every game matters, and if it was anybody, as I said in that interview, that could do this, it probably would be NAVI.
It really would be, and I love that how Angel is so honest about the exhaustion, how it's affecting the entire team. But this is a squad where, you know, they were the winners of Copenhagen back in 2022, and they've fallen far from that. However, despite the fact that they are on that 10-map loss streak, the fact that they haven't won a single series throughout this stage, this is a team where we can see them have life injected into them. If they're able to have a hot start into a series today, that could change the course of this playoff season.
Yeah, and talking about like the tiredness and the exhaustion, I think it's pretty interesting to see that players as experienced as Angel on many FPS games and like have many years behind them are like experiencing the same as young players are. For instance, Wood, I mean, I think he was saying it himself on Twitter also, that he felt, you know, a bit burned out and that they've just been playing since Shanghai. So I mean, they're humans, you know, players remain humans after all.
Yeah, it's not easy for sure, but let's talk about how they can bounce back. What I'm about to show you guys here, it's not going to look great, okay? It's not going to look great to begin with, but we are going to offer them a little bit of a solution. You will see now a couple of rounds on Icebox when they faced Koi, and the post plants, how do I put it nicely? We're not great. The post-plants were problematic, to say the least. And it's problematic because we're talking about Navi. We're talking about a team that last season had the 4th highest post-plant win rate out of everybody in this league. And for some reason, I feel like the reason could be the Gecko. You know, we have a different player playing the Gecko this time around, perhaps not as comfortable. The plants, the wingman plants are always a little bit off. For example, this one, just like a centimeter to the left, it would have been fine. You know, things would have been chill. But the issue is the post plants just don't look good right now. Lou, how do they fix this? How do they make sure that they don't do things like this today?
Yeah, I mean, something important about post plant is like reliability. You know, like usually when you got an advantageous situation where you get the spike down and get ready to have your crossfires that you worked 1,000 times in scrims, then usually you're supposed to win the round. So I don't know. I mean, Angel was saying it in your interview, like learn and remember like when you're supposed to like double peek and just like drop the keyboard and don't do anything. So I mean, maybe remembering about the fundamentals and having players that drive, you know, like 2v2, 3v3, so that they just on the same page in those post-plant situations.
I love that you talk about being on the same page, right? Because I feel like when we see Navi in these post-plant situations, we even see the numbers here compared to the rest of the teams in VCT EMEA. They're going for a lot of hero plays, I feel like, in these situations where you see them peeking one by one, trying to be kind of like that guy in the round to close things out, but they're not playing as a team, and that would make all of the difference. The drop-off from the best team being Team Liquid, 77.8% down to 53.2%. That's abysmal.
Yeah, I mean, 50-50 every time they plant, but this could be fixable. We're talking about Navi. They've done it before. But let's quickly move on to Takas and Artist coming into this. I know Ascent has been looking great for Navi, probably somewhere we're going to see. We're definitely probably going to see Takas and Artist go head-to-head on that map. Lou, tell me what you think about this matchup, because it feels like if Artist shows up and he has a day, Takas might have a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, Artist was struggling a little bit at the beginning of the season, but given the results of Navi, it's always hard. And I mean, Takas experienced it on split 1-2. Like when your team is losing, there's not much you can do, especially as a duelist. But yeah, I think that Artist maybe is a bit more flexible than Takas. We've also seen him on Omen, while Artist can also play Initiator. Like Flasher, he has really good and excited like comms also, which is something that I think Takas might like a little bit. But when it comes to the operator, I must say that I love Takas Op, and that could be the solution for today for Gentlemates.
Oh, I like that. And the other side though, his teammate, the tank as well, Ash, he seems like one of the major win conditions for Gentlemates coming into this.
Yeah, and I think we saw that even last week when Takas was flexing off the duelist to allow Natank to reprise that role and playing the Raze on a couple of those maps. He is the player that we look to be very aggressive, be able to make the space on those sites for the executions for the side of Gentlemates. I found that he's a lot more consistent, I think, on those entries there as well, and he brings so much flexibility to the team.
Yeah, I do agree with that. I mean, there's not much I can add. I'm on the same page as you, but I would also say that maybe sometimes Takas is a bit alone, like he's not followed by his teammates, while with Navi, I don't think that's much of a problem, like sending Ardis to do the job, and then the others coming a bit late afterwards. I think that's maybe more problematic on the side of Gentlemates rather than Navi.
This is the thing though, if both teams played at their best, everybody would predict Navi. It feels obvious that Navi, they have the experience, they have the map pool as well, but that's not the case. So how big of a chance could this be for Gentlemates?
I think there's a big opportunity. I think it really relies on that map veto.
Yeah, I agree. I think it will be like a 2-1. I mean, it could go either way, basically, but because I'm French, I'm going to say Gentlemates.
I'm with you. But the wait is over. We have just 2 games left today before playoffs. So let's bring out the first 2 teams. Here is Navi taking the stage one last time, perhaps against Gentlemates. This is a very, very important game. Navi, they win, they will go to playoffs and they will get their first win of this stage. But for Gentlemates, it's not just them that have their fate relying on this. Team Liquid also need them to win if they want to make playoffs, which means this map pool is going to be very, very important and very interesting. We discussed briefly about how Ascend is probably going to be an option. Today, I don't see Gentlemates kind of deviating from their bind permaban. They will go for that. There's no way Navi bans Ascend as well, which means we're probably going to see it 100%. What do you make of this, Ash?
Okay, well, I mean, looking towards Sunset first, and then the Ascent does come out for that second pick. There's no surprise there with Navi picking that up. I'm glad that Mates end up getting that opportunity to pick that first map, because I think the big risk here would have been if we saw Ascent first, and if Navi can have closed that out, that's where things could have gotten scary. But it gives them this opportunity now to warm up on Sunset.
I would have liked them to pick the Icebox, Lou. Why do you think the Gentlemates didn't go for that Icebox?
I think they're pretty confident with their Sunset still. They get pretty much a good fight against Team Heretics. I mean, given how good they are on the map, like I think they won like 7 or 8 rounds against them, which is pretty decent, I would say. And I think I like the energy and like the synergy between Takas and Natank on the Sage pick, which just acts like a second duelist. Yeah, especially to take like top mid and split A or split B. I think they're using it pretty well, and that's, I mean, they had a really good show.
But sometimes they kind of moved away from it and then they came back. Yes. Do you think they're going to stick with it? Would you like to see them stick with it?
I'd like to see them stick with it, yeah, because we saw a Sova from Natank, which was not like his comfort pick, he would say it himself, and it was not super convincing. I think he's way more comfortable than Agent, where he just has to put his wall and just play with his teammates.
Well, let's take a look at Agent Select here and see what Navi have cooked up. I mean, Artis is not going to play the duelist here, but it will be Zipan, Ash, on the Neon.
Zipan on the Neon, I actually quite like this. I think the change of pace here will be good for Navi. Taking a risk at this point is, I feel like, traditional Navi style. This is what we want to see coming out from them. We saw some of that innovation last week with them bringing out Icebox and then changing up their composition there as well on the other map.
Natank not on the wall! He betrayed you, Lou!
I mean, yeah, Natank on the wall. Everyone has been singing that song for like ages, and I'm a bit, I mean, maybe not disappointed because I love Sova. That's my comfort pick if you had asked me, but still, I mean, they need to find some synergy between the two, like initiators, to have some cool like reveal and flash peaks, this kind of stuff. But I mean, they could make it work too.
I am very, very sad that he's not on the wall, but I mean, we didn't mention it, but it's Angel back on the Omen. Mitch and Tom, Xiao will be on that Sova. Very, very exciting stuff.
Thank you, Lou, Ash, and Sue. Yes, I'm excited for this. A few little twists to the compositions. And what do you make of the map pool before we get into that?
I don't think it's particularly bad for either side. I think Navi are going to come into this and go, okay, like these are maps that we were good on. The thing is, their map has been bad. They've lost 8 maps in a row. They split 10 in total. So it's not like any map has been particularly good for them. But Ascent historically has been one of their best. Split as well has been up there. So if they were ever going to turn it around, those would be the maps to do it. Sunset's not been the best. So losing dominantly to Heretics, losing to BBL, losing to Heretics again, and they had 1 win versus KC. But they have changed things up. They put Xiao back on Sova, which I bet Bear will be jealous that she's not cast in this game. But also putting Angel back on Omen. Now, it definitely had its problems in the past. Sometimes you'd lose your smokes within 4 seconds of the round. At the same time, they were winning more.
It's been tough for Navi. Like you said, 8 maps in a row this stage, 10 in total. That kind of loss is unprecedented, and we heard it from Angel. It's tough to live through times like that for him. But they still believe in the team and the system they've built, and now a chance to test it out against Mates. For Navi, qualification on the line for Mates, a chance. Still have to watch another game and see how it goes. Attacking side, already taken space. They're going to A, but there's been a push-up from Navi that's about to be contacted on by Whalers. He doesn't expect the second.
God, it's already going to be traded in the favor of the French, but the trade back, stun good, and Kana can't jump out of that one. The trade, though, from the tank is even better. And well, one thing that has always been a piece of this man's puzzle is clutches. 30 seconds, a complete reposition from the side of Mates. But the fact is, Xiao's got there so fast that although they're going to take their time rotating back, there should be a realization relatively soon. Bayaz already tagged up, so definitely an opportunity for Xiao. And He's got himself a reveal and a shock dart left. Eventually, as said, it's going to be probably the plant now that actually gives things away. And he's going to have a lot of positions to check by the time he makes it to that B site.
Yeah, that's quite a run. At least no one lurking around to take him down up close. Standard B main post plant from Mates. Bay has low opportunity. The recon from Xiao could maybe give him the information he needs, but even then they're quite spread out. This is a tough clutch, and one that's going to run down a lot of this clock. Be blessed if he could get it to half, but Bayaz is the one watching that. Here comes the reveal. Player behind is low, and he has a shock dart, but going for the half, sticking it. He's got it halfway. Now he can try to take the fight, force them into open combat, but that's his downfall. The tank with his 3rd kill in the round. He might not be on the wall, but he's on the board, 1-0.
I think it's going to be super important today that he has a good game. And that's sort of been the thing with Gentlemates throughout this split. It's a bit of an odd one because at times I think we can say that they've looked impressive. Like even in series, I talked about last week, they won Icebox when facing up against Heretics. That's a huge victory. They beat Koi, who've had a massive resurgence. Even 13-1'd GX on the first map of the split. And then lost the series, and that's been the thing. It's almost like split personalities. Like this team sometimes can look unstoppable, and then the next map, well, it looks like they never turned up at all. For NAVI, well, it's been a lot more of the latter this round. Good paranoia, a chance for Zipan to do some serious damage. Actually, Bayers is tagged as well, but they are just going to opt to pivot and move away from this.
And it's a perfect call. Good space taken by Whalers with the pistol. Same thing could be said by Kadavra. He's pushed up on A, already getting them a little bit of control. Whalers lurk, catching massive value. 2 quick kills, and that should put this one to bed. A Bulldog saved by Zipan. Picked up. Now he'll try to use it to thin out the economy of Mates, but he is bringing one of the weapons back to them. And the 2 players taking the fights are the ones with pistols, the ones that can afford to go down and will get an upgrade if they find the kill, pincering him as well. Those steps are hurt. Cat is going to be quickly up behind him and closing out the round, retrieving the Bulldog too. That is a solid 2nd round from Gentlemates.
Yeah, not bad. Keeping it nice and clean. Weaponry not going down either, which is the most important piece of these sort of rounds, especially when you have a couple of pistols. Even better than that, the tank has managed to get the Hunter's Fury online, so that's going to be a huge piece to the puzzle now going into their bonus round. And the thing is, it doesn't even look that much like a bonus. You're talking about 5 rifles, an ultimate, plenty of utility to play with, and your opponents, well, I guess the only deterrent there is you have a Bulldog instead of a Vandal.
Small disadvantage, but even then, depends on whose hands it's in. Those right clicks with the Bulldog on pixel angles can be nasty. We saw that yesterday on Haven. Shonk up close, trying to destroy any traps. The intention wasn't to damage Zipan. They don't know he's there. And luckily, they won't be finding out, or at least not the hard way. Going back around to mid. Drone out. The space taken in some of these rounds from Mates has relied on causing those over-rotations in the early rounds. The pistol, the anti-eco. They won't get away with it quite as easily this time, though. Navi much more content to hold their choke points, and, well, Sugetsu's the first to draw blood.
Yeah, he's someone I've definitely got my eye on today because we haven't seen the Sugetsu of old. Like, this was a guy that was absolutely tearing up EMEA and the international stage at times. I still remember his arrival at Masters Copenhagen. It was a pretty big deal.
Right here.
Ended up with the trophy. The fact is, it hasn't been the same player, but if he can get back even close to where he was before, I think this series will be theirs. And that stands for a lot of players within this team. Angel, aggressive, no surprises there. The smokes will be gone, but we knew that was going to happen. 25 seconds left, and the Spike is making its move, but they haven't cleared out Ardis. Even him just holding on to this position could be huge.
I mean, the problem now, they know exactly where he is. Yeah, Whalers popped the ultimate, hat off the head. Now they know the smokes go down and the Spike through to the site. They just need to defend it long enough, and Cat is doing one hell of a job. 3 kills. The 30 had no right to. He was low, but the wide swing caught them off guard. What a round from him, and that's to cement Gentlemates 3-0. Economy for Navi trailing, and they're thriving on the attacking side.
Again, it's the same story though for Navi. You pull yourself a man advantage, you get in a position where you look like you're going to win the round, and then, well, 3 players swing on one and they lose the fight. Like, it's a huge round from Kada, but again, you have to look at Navi and go, I don't know how that's happened. It's going to put them on a low bite for this one. And Natus Vincere, well, Wasn't even needed in the last round.
No, it's still here and unlikely to be dispensed in a round like this. Lots of weaknesses for the defensive side. Pistols, Stinger in the hands of Artis. Gentlemates, they might look like they're taking a bit more of a direct approach from the players that we're watching, but we definitely have Whalers and Cadavra still spread out, casting that wide net to catch any aggression that comes out of NAVI. And it's very important to do this in the early rounds, just to keep NAVI in a position where they don't feel like they can get aggressive. Even their A-hold, which is the most advanced piece of information they have, sees Angel put down a one-way, but then play way back. Obviously, they've only got pistols, as like we said last round. They were more keen to take those fights on choke points last round with rifles. Now that you don't have them, you kind of have to just deny space and concede it when it's challenged until you've got the numbers. For all their trouble, they've got the numbers on B. They're ready for this push.
Trip causing maybe a little bit more trouble than they'd be hoping for, and Sugetsu is going to manage one. The pop flash, not bad, but it doesn't catch everybody. Sugetsu still making this one that little bit more costly, and now has Angel to support. Again, though, with him so desperately low on HP, there'd need to be more of a mistake. And in this 1v2 scenario, he's going to need some pretty immediate shots. So he's going to use the ult. I don't mind it. Neural Theft will at least give him a gap. Try and take a little bit of extra space.
They think he's backside because of where he used the ult. Now, though, they're starting to realize the timing's good for him to wrap. Spotted at 26 HP. He's lucky to still be alive, as look has ran out in the end. 4-0 for Gentlemates. A lights-out start to their pick of Sunset. The question is, in this buy round, do we see Navi bounce back?
Oh, they need to. Actually, it's going to be a very early pause, and I don't mind that at all, right call. I think the way that things have been going, again, they could have easily had a round on the board already if it wasn't for the heroics of Cadavra. And with how important this game is, like, again, we've got to highlight the stakes here. For Navi, they win this game, they are in playoffs. Even after not winning a single game so far this split, their first split was good enough that just a victory, nothing else, no other permutations. They don't need anything else from the remaining teams this tournament. All they need to do is win by any means possible. For Gentlemates, it's not quite the same story. They do need that victory, don't get me wrong. They need to get that onto the board, but then they also need KC to win the next one. And then you also have Liquid in the mix, who are hoping that Vitality win that next game, and then they'll be through instead. Definitely a little bit more confusing. If you're a Navi fan, very simple. Win game in playoff, don't win game out. For mates, don't win game out still applies. The thing is, though, at 4-0 up, Gentlemates looking solid. Still got that Hunter's Fury online. Again, haven't needed it, haven't utilized it. Some of the other ultimates are starting to build up. Angel not far away. Same for Zipan. But more importantly for the mates, the same could be said for Takas.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things is the fact that Navi, they come into this buy round, their economy's on the line, they're 4-0 down, looking at a few more rounds going their opponent's way, and they don't have that ult economy. You want to fight for those orbs, you want to get them early, but on a map like this, it can be difficult, especially for the defenders. You're always going to be out in the open, more likely to take it on A, but yeah, it's not going to be worth risking your whole round plan on, but it would be nice. It would be a convenience to at least have those safety nets to fall back on. Instead, it's mates, the team leading, that have that Hunter's Fury post-plant danger, clearing out corners, especially on a map like Sunset. Lots of tight laneways that you can blind fire that down. And we've seen an increase in blind fire Hunter's Furies as of late. Lots of utility expanded to try to get Cadavra out of position, but all it amounts to is a Shrouded Step, and as they attempt to punish, Zipan gets dropped. This is a failure of an early fight for Navi, and Gentlemates read that with the advantage, group up, and hit the A site together. All 5 in that choke point now.
Yeah, and there's not really any information. Angel seems aware that they could have wrapped back around and no presence shown in mid since.
They're rotating, okay.
Could be good. That knife is going to get so much. 4 players. This is everything for Navi. They know, but it doesn't matter. Bear's just going to hit the shot anyway, and now, with Artis left in no man's land, it's still just Angel alongside Xiao. Paranoia is going to slow them at least a little bit, but again, it doesn't matter. It's just disjointed. Finally, we see something from the side of NAVI, but it's left all onto Xiao. Finally onto the board. He's given a chance. This is the thing with this man in clutch scenarios. You may doubt NAVI at this point, but you can never doubt Xiao. Already the dart will reveal. Oh, no, it won't. It won't reveal Whalers, but he knows where he is anyway. And he connects the shot on the jump. As said, sometimes, maybe most of the time at the moment, you could doubt Na'Vi, but you never, ever doubt Xiao.
Now, put some respect on this man's name. What an incredible way to put a round on the board for Navi. You know, I said they didn't have those ultis. Maybe they want some orbs early, so they've got a safety net. Stupid me. I forgot they have this guy. I forgot he was there. Absolutely unreal. And it starts here, even on the way to the site. Artis is separated. It feels like there's a disconnect. Angel's putting a smoke down while Artis is swinging. Then he's not there. He has a paranoia to react, but he's busy. They're not on the same page. But when this man's all alone, my goodness, he pulls this out of nowhere. You just witnessed his first kill so far.
His first kill, his second kill, his third kill, and his fourth kill to get him a Red Bull clutch. It's a way for them to get their first round, but it is just the first round. A costly one at that, and look at Takaz. He's already going to claim the space immediately. And for the side of Na'Vi, this time you have to show the respect.
Absolutely. The space is conceded, they fall back, but you know, the thing is they've got some ultimates of their own. Mates have built up almost all of theirs. Takaz is just burnt down. Hunter's Fury still there. Beaz ready to counter out a lot of the utility on the way back through. And there it is. It's called now. And this is going to delay Hunter's Fury even thrown through. And that's what I'm talking about. Those little choke points, narrow passageways. Hunter's Fury lights it right up. 3 players ready to swing. Cat is the point of contact up top. He's already seen a few and they're ready to fight towards the spawn. In fact, smoke goes down and they get close. Spam battles. And it leaves Kata a little worse for wear, but still no ground taken by Navi. They need to wrestle for control and there's too many players. Angel all alone. 1 versus 3, time ticking quite far in the big swing, even the wall bangs to take him down. Gentlemates, a little bit of a hiccup caused by Xiao, but now they're right back to winning ways.
Yeah, and they have put the economy of their opponents completely in the dirt. It's a horrific scenario for Na'Vi winning a round and then losing one straight back, and for Mates, I like it, just a complete change of pace. Like, up until this point, they've been playing these slower, passive rounds where they sort of feel out the map. You've had the sort of double look of Kadabra and then Whalers even further behind at times. This time, they just send it. And I believe maybe even Kadabra might have TP'd into the back as well. Like, they had a multiple take of just the pace of Takaz and then that immediate use of the ult. Same going to be the case here. I don't think that's caught anything. And while Zipan versus 3, if he had won that fight, I think I'd be critiquing Gentlemates.
I mean, this is an example, I think, of the attack versus the defense. Mates pop their ultimate on Neon, run into a site, take the space, force them back. Here on the defense, they try to do the same, backing it up with a Hunter's Fury, but it's blind. And there weren't players there. The players shot on B main were too far away to be connected on. Now, what's the late round plan? Weak weapons. Not a lot you can really do when it comes down to open duels, and that's all that's left to play with at this point. Takaz even has a flash in there. It almost caught Xiao, who has managed to recover a Guardian. He did just have his 4K, but not even one to add to the tally here. The flash saving Takaz.
He deals a lot of damage. Like, there's 2 players through the walls that have just been tagged absurdly low, but yeah, it's meaningless. It might help Angel get a kill. I'll be honest, I don't think Angel's getting a kill.
No, not at all. And the Luthia flawless for the side of Gentlemates. And honestly, with the way that they started this out as well, giving 1 round to Navi, like you said, Tom, just destroying their economy, their win bonus gone. And for Mates, this could not have started any better. They have had hot starts to series and ended up losing them, so there'll be no getting carried away with themselves just yet, but it's got to feel good to be on the Mate side right now.
The worry as well is, well, when we saw Navi play this map last, it was their attack where they managed 1 round versus Heretics. They started on that half. Just, they didn't.
It wasn't like a 4-round kind of, okay.
No, they played the 12. And it is going from bad to worse. You could see that this is, again, they're just this snowball team, Mates. The second they get confident, they get confident. An aggressive push to get that opening kill. Now, Xiao has been able to trade it out. But let's be real, so far this game, Zipan has been having a nightmare. This Neon aggression, be it peeking mid, be it getting pushed in mid, or be it pushing the spawn, he's died a lot in the early stages of these rounds.
Yeah, he really hasn't been a factor to be feared by Mates. Just something that feels like they've got under control. Player in a box. Mates, a lot of information given to their opponents there. 2 players, both initiators. Just going to give away that they were planning an A hit, but orb taken and a reset late. Rotation from Navi. 3rd player, Xiao, now arriving on scene, but watching out on middle, keeping that control. I think the lack of a trap this round really hurt them, but Alcata was able to walk through that smoke for the opening pick. Confuses me,
30 seconds
confounds me,
left.
that's for sure. Smoke down on B, they'll try to play the fake like this, but I don't know that Navi are going to move.
It's very disjointed. That's my only worry. All the players are almost staggered at this point. They have smoked them out the back of the site. I guess that's the saving grace, is they're sat quite far back. They'll be able to get a plant without actually having to fight anybody over on the Navi side. So that's at least something. Bea's somewhat isolated here, and he's going to lose that initial battle. And the tank also goes down. One of the best opportunities for Navi since Xiao pulled off an absurd clutch. And Wailers has been spotted. I don't know if they know the position of Kadavra just yet, and he's managed to swing in, but getting onto this defuse, impossible. It will be a second round for Navi. And our mates, I guess for this very slow play, were maybe finally punished.
Yeah, no, they absolutely were. I think as well, it's a very slow play, and when they finally decide to strike, when the swings come in towards the spawn, they lose the first duel, this one, and there happens to be a reveal thrown in by Xiao that makes it the easiest kill. For I think it was Ardis who picked that one up. 6-2. All right, Navi back on the board, but we saw that. They got around, and they fell right after. It was Gentlemates coming out with a much more punchy early round that got them back on the board. See if they can do it again. Hunter's Fury back online for the tank.
He's been playing incredibly well. I would say a lot of it is, again, just that firepower that he brings seemingly to any agent. You put him on a Sage, he's still going to frag. Put him on that Raze, Neon, you name it. He's still going to be up there on the board. I guess similarly to Xiao. You can put that man on anything. I think that's one of the more fun things about this matchup. The rest of the players, maybe even across the entire game, can be a little bit less consistent. I'd also put Kadavra in there, actually. For what we've seen from him so far in his first split in the league, he's definitely looked good. Drone will clear out some of these closer corners. Again, the knives from Ardis have been good. They've got a lot of information off the back of it. I did not expect him to get two there.
He's done his job. He's got his two. Zipan's even in for one. Oh, no, he's not. The tank's left on 37 HP. An easy cleanup, but Whaler's given a chance to clutch this one out. They might just do it again for mates. 6-2, looking to put 7 on the board, and only Sagetsu stands in their way.
30 seconds
a trap that's going to reveal his position. No, he jumps over, but the sound cue is heard. Whalers knows that his opponent is just around that corner, biding his time for the strike, and there it is! But a few bullets, 1 bullet shy, in fact. Just 5 HP, but it's enough for Navi to take it across the line. A lifeline gifted here.
Again, it just seems like in these advantageous scenarios, Navi just take the riskiest thing they could possibly do. It's like, it seemed like a position where if Angel stays passive, this round is done, but instead he swings and tries to fight when his teammate is nowhere to be seen. It's a huge gamble. Luckily, Sugetsu's been there to close out the round. Even still, though, again, they're not keeping any of these particularly clean. A win for mates here would still send the economy of Navi back into turmoil. Even still, though, ult-wise, again, that Hunter's Fury is available, and it looks like we might see them just try and take some early presence. They have been denied, and again, the knife's connected.
Any early plan for mates will just be cancelled out in terms of that util to take space, but that's going to be back online now. They move up, creep into A main. Players holding mid as well. The B site, you know, this is where we see Navi take a bit more control. They've even put a recon through, which I think was almost a ruse to get Angel to pop someone's head, but no one's there. Navi have that read. They know the space on B is open. They'll start the rotation, but will they get there in time? Look how far up mates have already pushed. It's going to be pressure on some of these players to get their ones and get out of there.
Still a trip. Oh, they just walked past it. Again, Zipan lost. His early fights have been massively unsuccessful, and now that utility has expended, Sugetsu tries to get ahead of it and instead is lost, and Ardis was caught with an 8-out. Eventually he goes down. It took a little bit longer than expected, but again, fighting back into this is going to be desperate. I think both players have been spotted. Xiao trying to reclaim some space, but this after plant is a solid one. He's going to do a little bit of tickle damage to Takas, but not anything to really make him fret. And the second he goes to swing, there's a multi-swing from the other side. It leaves Angel to try and do it all. He's hoping that they all peak at once, but it isn't going to be the case. And Mates, well, again, a comfortable round to put them up to 7.
Even hunting him down. By the looks of it, Takas wants to take that weapon out of his hands, and he's done it too. Insult to injury. Mates back on the board, extending that lead, a 4-round gap, and we're coming towards the end of the half. This is a problem for NAVI. Their ult economy not online. Their credit economy not there either. It's going to be a sloppy second last round, and they have to decide whether they want to keep it all for the next. Not a nice position to be in, and while this was a round they really wanted.
I think we are seeing the difference. It's Mates moving as a unit and Na'Vi trying to fight them as individuals.
Like it's their moment.
Yeah, it's the first peak from Zipan solo. Sugetsu does exactly the same thing. Then Artist, he's caught with a nade out, has to fall back. It's like those first 3 kills for Mates are going, okay, well, we're going to swing you together and you're going to try and fight us alone. Again, no surprise, the knife has hit pretty much everyone. It's crazy because Na'Vi are basically getting that info every round. It's like there are 4 on A. It hasn't helped them.
Especially Mates showing in the first couple rounds the conditioning of being able to take the space and then hit the other side. It's always risky to overcommit it. NAVI will do that this time though. They'll put all their eggs in one basket, at least most of them. 4 players here, and it seems to only be Zipan that's needed. A lights out start from this man. He's retreated to the spawn, and Cat has taken the space to find one more kill. The first for Mates, and the second it follows through. They're not all going into the smoke one at a time. They are, but it's worked out. Zipan found that kill, and he can thank his lucky stars, or this one might have went the other way. But now it's a clutch attempt for Natank. 1 versus 3. Zipan might be low, but the others aren't, and Angels recovered a rifle. A tough one with 40 seconds on the clock.
He's been good. I don't know if he's been this good. The time definitely playing a factor. Oh, Angel looking the wrong way. That's a first. Zipan low and still hasn't managed to actually retrieve himself a gun. The timing of the player behind, though, should be easy enough to pull out that kill and, more importantly, get them the pay safe card Thrifty. Also, before this point, Zipan only had 2 kills, and he's just got 3 with the Sheriff.
Little confidence building. First is easy enough. The second is a hell of a correction, especially when it's Takas on the other side.
I also hate that. I have to. The fact that he ran back into the smoke afterwards, it gave me.
It's tactical.
Gave me a mini panic attack.
You know, he has to reload eventually. If he's killed enough of your teammates.
If only there was like a sound it makes us our reload.
Well, you know, as Neon, it's not like you could get in there quickly to punish it or anything.
No.
You have to go now, right? You got to get ahead of it.
Speaking of going now.
Yeah, right in. Takas activated the ult. Fast lanes up to give them a bit more space on the side. Hunter's Fury again thrown through his crowd control to clear some of these angles, but Sugetsu's filled back in the space. He's inside the smoke, still looking for a fight while the rest of the team has fallen back. He's in danger when this one fades.
And the ult gone. Hunter's Fury available for Xiao. Could use this as a deterrent. Zipan, those gone swinging. And they are lined up like a firing squad, looking to just play that post plant the second it can go in. Already going to be the trade. Hunter's Fury will catch one, a chance for a little bit more. I believe that, yeah, it was a tag onto Cadavra. But that Spike's now running it down all the way back in the other direction. Angel's timing is going to be everything. He's going to put up the one-way to potentially make them believe that somebody's there. I have a feeling they will not fall for that one.
Thought about it being a mid-play. Now the sound cues are there, given away. Quicker rotation coming out of Xiao. He's going to be here. The smoke has delayed them and given him a chance. Using his own smoke and fighting behind it. Beautiful play from Angel, but on the other side of the map, it's been left wide open and Cat has strolled into the house. The open door taken, and Natank is on his way to plant that spike. It might be a good punish from Angel, but his flank should be expected. And at this point, they might even plant for the defender spawn and fight into these 2 players that will be retaking. That's exactly what they're going to do.
10 seconds left.
Cadaver. It's how far he goes. It seems like they're aware of it, though. A couple of players waiting on the other side. Timing going to be everything. It's Sugetsu that ends up going down. This time, Angel peeks and decides to give it up. Paranoia hasn't connected. And they are completely isolated. A chance to get those 1v1s, but it isn't going to work out. Angel will be the one closing out the round. And from a pretty bleak scenario, you know what? Na'Vi have made it competitive.
Oh yeah, you know Marcus was sweating at 6-2, but now it's close. 2-round gap, 7-5,
Actually,
perfectly manageable.
Yeah, No, yeah, there's definitely some sweat on the brow.
It's been tough for NAVI, but what a recovery. This puts them back in the game. Puts the pistol round back as a valuable one, but one that you can let slip and still have the foundations to fall back into.
Remaining.
I think
to see this face.
This is where the game truly gets interesting, though, because the one real critique, well, no, actually, no, not one. We had a lot.
I was going to say, yeah.
The main critique for NAVI was their post-plants. There was so many advantages that they lost that, again, you go back to split one and you're just not seeing. I think even talking about, I think it was one of the maps they had versus Koi, it was the split game. They lost 2 1v1s, 2 1v2s, and a 1v3 to lose them rounds. It's just like scenarios that are silly, over peaks, and with advantages that they had. So I'm sure that's something that they've gone into the workshop and tried to improve in the time that they've had. We saw in the interview with Angel, though, it's been tough. And for the side of Gentlemates, okay, their large lead definitely slipped towards the end of that half, but we're looking to see if they can get that momentum back with the pistol.
First combat towards A. He is actually facing in. Good spam, great connection. Artis is down to 13. Spike on its way. And post plant here for NAVI should be secured now. We saw... I didn't see that. We saw a lot of issues when it came down to individual peaks. I don't want to see them falling alone in this post plant. I want to see them fighting together, taking these duels as a unit, and towards spawn is the best place to do it. It's only Cadaver here. Good flash. Swing is solid, and Kata couldn't see a thing, but they have managed to drop Zip. I'm not aware. There's so many other players here, and it seems like a flurry of frags will close this one. Bayaz with it all to do and no chances. 6-7. NAVI hot on the heels of Gentlemates now, despite a slow start to the map.
Yeah, you can see that they're clearly wanting to try and get up in the faces of Gentlemates, wanting to make sure they can get those advantages, and also just fight more so in one direction, because there was a quick rotation back from the side of Mates, but once they lost their own spawn, then it becomes so difficult. And yeah, solid flash coming out from Artis. That's the thing. His numbers in terms of kills, lower than what we expect from Artis, but his assists, as I said, he's got so much information off that knife all the way through the first half. And a solid flash to kick things off. That's the more important thing, especially with Zipan being that duelist. We know from, well, I think the Paddy Miniboo probably still my favorite duo on those pop flash setups. If they can replicate that, be a good opportunity.
I can't wait to see Paddy and whoever his next duo will be. No doubt in the VCT.
They should be queuing up, honestly.
Yeah, oh, they should.
Oh, well, Paddytech's going to be supporting me? I'm on the team.
Radiant 1 and 2. Give it 2 weeks.
Woot might have something to say about that.
Little tag going through from Zipan, softening up Bayaz. Most of the Gentlemates players don't have anything to work with. No shields, a few pistols.
Yep.
2 Sheriffs and a Ghost. And one of those has already tasted blood. It was Zipan, dropped the man who had the Bulldog and wanted to get a little bit aggressive. Now they fall back to the main play. Just pose
He juggled it. He's juggled the gun all the way back, so they haven't been able to retrieve it, and now Angel has it in his hands. That's a good teammate right there, making sure they have the guns, but anything more is costly. And while anything more than this is starting to get dangerous, now already. This was 4 rifles invested. They've already lost 1. The question is, do they lose the round? The spam's going to make things awkward, but they're keeping their advantages. And Sugetsu, a good teammate moments ago, juggling. Now he's going to clean up every single kill. Big round from him to move up that scoreboard. But more importantly, it puts NAVI level.
Yeah, what? He went from juggling to carrying. Beautiful round from him. 7-7, tied up neck and neck. Gentlemates, full buy, no heavy shields, but doesn't seem like any outlaw enjoyers. What a good guy.
His best highlight of the round, other than this.
Best part is he keeps the Bulldog for himself. Leaves the Guardian there for his buddy. I respect it. I think it was Angel only had a pistol at the initial fight, so not too bad. Losses not really felt. The cleanup in the last, but Mates, as I said, they've got the rifles out. This is their chance on the defensive side, and we saw an attempt at some aggression, but smokes up from both sides seem to have deterred it. Mates resetting. They haven't got a lot of mid control towards the top of mid, but the tank is watching from the door. Little off angle, and if NAVI go too far, that could be a free kill.
It's very interesting to me that you've got Zipan, the one without a gun in this round. So he's going to be playing the Ghost. I can only assume that means they're almost going to just send him in. Yeah, it's literally, he's going to try and swing every single angle, and then the only goal is for him to be traded. If he gets a kill, fantastic, but chances are slim. I will say again, nobody having the false shields on the other side means that Ghost a little bit more prominent. Yep. Look at a headshot, body shot. But as said, his only real goal is to get traded.
Yeah, we want to see how this Neon grows into the second half, because the first half, it didn't work. Defensive aggression was punished time and time again. The utility didn't really get them to where they needed to be, and it felt like for opening duels, I don't know what the numbers are, but I don't think they're great for Zipan. This isn't the round where he pops off. This is the round where a teammate trades, as you've said, but let's see if they get the opportunity. Whalers up close. Great damage done by Zipan. Makes it doable. Artist on for 2, and Navi up on the board, it seems. The tank tagged very low, and 3 players holding him on the fight. Good trade by Kata. Makes it doable. It's a 1v2 for him, a manageable scenario. Paranoia not going to be thrown through, and that's his mistake. Swinging in, I think it might have even been chunked at the last second, but yeah, it didn't catch the right corner. The angle was open, and it's punished.
Yeah, I think he was hoping that the other player would be defending the planter instead. Xiao was much further forward. But this is exactly it. Zipan did his job, got the info, and then we're starting to see, again, those individual plays from players like Artist.
Unlucky.
Put himself further up onto the board.
Okay.
Incredible insight, honestly. The thing is, what you don't know is that's actually part of their plan. So what he does is he has different sounds that he makes. That means that. So that actually means that in next round they're going to go for more of a default, spread out, and then they're going to end up hitting towards the A side. So whenever Angel goes, you're certain.
Okay.
That means they're going to hit A. Just so I'd let you know.
I mean, it's
I
a very
inside info.
It's a very common thing, right? We hear quarterbacks will often call like Eagle 5, Eagle 5. You know, he's just cutting out the middleman.
And when Miniboo screams, that means that he just died after a round to a fragment.
Yes. When he screams what again? I didn't catch that.
That.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm being censored.
I think we don't have a beep button here. That'll be good. Well, 8-7 and a timeout for Gentlemates. It's far from over, but 3 in a row to their opponents. Navi picking up some steam. Now 5 rounds in a row total, but we're looking just this half. And putting Mates down to pistols. And it's a good opportunity for Navi to extend that lead. Probably looking at 9-7, but Mates, they're a team that can definitely, they don't pull any punches when the Sheriffs are in play. We've already seen the damage. Someone like Zipan, half his kills were in 1 round with a Sheriff, which is sad to see. Sad to see, sad to say. Both. An early push, and it's Takas dropped. Zipan looking for more, doubling up perhaps, but Kata manages to evade with some tricky maneuvers. Although he's not going to get too far. Stuck on the A site, and here comes the cavalry straight around the corner for easy kills. Well, Zipan must have heard me, as if half his kills were from the Sheriff. That stat no longer holds any water. He's now got 9 kills on the board, and looks like Navi might just follow suit with 9 rounds.
Yeah, I can't see a world where they get back into this one. The big thing will be that economy boost.
1 enemy remaining.
Also more of a confidence boost. That said, Zipan's gone from what, 2 and 10, a nice shot from the tank. I heard a couple of people calling for the ace. Well, there is still 1 on. A little bit tougher to hit.
It might be harder to land this ace, yeah. I'm not going to get behind it just yet.
How many more? How many more does he need for you to
2.
believe?
If he gets 2, I'm in. 100%. All right, well, that seems to be a little easy. Let's see the next one. They're double swinging out on mid. He's hit him to 1 HP. It's getting. How's he got a rifle? How's he got a rifle?
I think Xiao was lining up the greatest shot dart of all time, and then just went, he is looking at me. He's looking at me.
I'm in danger. Well, 9 rounds secured, and, well, Zipan had 1 hell of a round. He might have been denied the ace, but that's 4 kills to bring him up to 10. A very slow start to this map for not just Navi, but for Zipan in particular. And as soon as we bring it up, my guy pops off.
2 and 10. He then got 3 kills with the Sheriff. 4 kills with this round. I like how he carried on lining up. He's like, nah, I believe in my shot.
He's peeking me. I'll have a bounce.
Hold on, guys, hold on.
That'll get him. That'll teach him.
Wow, pacey start again. That confidence is definitely building. The only thing is, has it gone too far? Like, Zipan has just walked straight up into top mid. He's going to try and fake this out and then go back in the other direction. Bear in mind, the only player really holding in this position, well, I was going to say is Whalers and the tank, but, well, oh, sorry, Cadavra. But Kadavra's just fallen back and Whalers has gone down.
Yeah, now they're very much boxed in. Locked out for Gentlemates. Going back to a 2-2 split. Zipan awaiting the entry and market, and he's popping off. This man has warmed up, that's for sure. Looking for a 10th round now, and his 2K might secure it. The other players running for the hills even after the trade. It's just not worth competing for. NAVI, they found double digits. What a course correction this has been. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tom. I feel like I'm delusional. It was 6-2 to Gentlemates at one point. They were winning every duel. It didn't look like they could make a mistake. Shout out to 4K, and that was one of the only, 1v4, sorry, 4K, and it was one of the only signs of life of this roster. What has happened? Who are these people?
It's like someone whispered in their ear that, hey, you know, the single elimination. They're like, yeah, you can't play Heretics this time. They're like, oh, I'm in. All right, well, I'm back in the server again. It's very peculiar. It's like it took them to the brink of death to finally realize who they are, the trophy that they have in their cabinet back home, and where they need to be. It has been 7 rounds in a row now. Mates have, I don't even think they've got close to a lot of these rounds. This has just been Na'Vi running riot. And well, every single player is on the board as well. Like that, this is something that you go back to any of the last 4, scratch 5 games, and this has not been the case at all.
Now, we often talk about A or B aggression early, but this time I want to look at the lines between. Take a look at mid, early push from Kadavra. They use the player to tank further back to take that space to cover the mid push, and Kata TP's in. Spike right in front of him. It's there. Whoa, you've been done, Tom. But it's right there, right in front of him. And a chance now to lock this down. The flash, though, they're ready for it, and the punish. Navi reading what could have been a massive trap play. And instead, the punish is there, Mates.
Maybe it's
one man.
They put the spike there to trick.
Ah, yeah. It's like bait. You put cheese out for a mouse.
What you didn't realize
you
is
put a
in
spike
the
out
pause,
for
he actually went,
Kadavra.
and that's how he calls that one.
God's sake.
Artist. Another kill on the board. Oh, okay. I was going to say it's been individual peaks, but that one's worked out. Bayaz gets a double, has support this time, but the spike has been retrieved. They don't really need to beat this. They definitely don't now. Sugetsu, he's going to be the bodyguard, and he's going to defend, leaving just one man standing. It looked like for a second Mapes were going to be back, but Sugetsu, he's the one to respond.
I feel like I'm watching the last fight in a season of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like, there were so many trap cards put down by Mates there, and just as they flip them over, it looks like the game is won.
I see, there was a plan. I told you. Now, the question is, if you cut to the previous round and he goes, ooh, all I'm going to say is, I'm the Oracle.
You've been rubbing that head of yours, haven't you, Tom? You're getting visions again.
Someone has to.
We'll get you sorted after this one, Tom. There's just plenty of fans in the
8 rounds in a row.
This is tough. I mean, I do not envy the coaching staff of Gentlemates now, and we talked about morale being so high in those first 10 rounds. But since then, they're starting to understand how NAVI feel. 8 losses in a row. Time to get back on that horse, though. 4 ultimates, rifles, economy's still there. It's not the end of the world.
So it was 6-1, right? Because then they got 2 rounds in a row. Because they only got 5 in the first half, so it's actually worse. They were even further in the lead.
You're right.
And it seems like, well, I don't want to say they ran out of steam, but it more so seems like just the Na'Vi players started hitting, and all of them at once. As said, it's a bit of a cursed storyline for Mates if that's the team they've come up against. And Angel said in the interview earlier with Yinsu that all they really need is that combo breaker, that map, that win. He says it's not about confidence, it's not about their practices. They just need to get over the line. And while 2 rounds away from doing it on their opponent's map choice, Ascent up next is a map I'm sure they'll still be very happy to play in both. There's definitely no lack of confidence on Zipper. Look at where he is. He's literally in the site. There are 4 players looking to surround this. The rest of Na'Vi are not even on this side of the map. They are slowly making their way all the way over towards that A site. Now, there is still a player here, and in fact, it does seem like Gentlemates have realized, but he's looked away! He's looked away at the wrong moment, and that's going to be the site completely open.
Oh, man, and in the chaos, players in B main, players pushed up A, they've lost sight of one spot on the map. Look at where Artis has nestled his way into. It might not be needed though, that position. Instead, traded out for this fight. It's Angel and Sagetsu. One man might have fallen, but Angel's still up close. Kata does his best to root him out of spot. Okay, a chance perhaps. Still, the number's not with them, but the info certainly is. The neural theft, giving it all over to Whalers and Kadavra. Have to try to take these fights though. The time ticking down. A flash popped and a swing is good. 3 kills for Kata. He needs the ace to get this one across the line, and it's a big round for Gentlemates. A much needed win. A swing on the back. Zipman's avoided him, but caught the bullet to the head. Now up close, the time, the major factor, and he's tried to fake it. The fact that Artis doesn't go straight forward, he might have won it already, and the shot confirms it. 12-7. Now 5 chances to put their first map win of the season on the board to break a massive, a monumental loss streak for this squad. This could be the combo breaker that puts NAVI back on the map.
I love the way that Artis plays that at the end. You might be thinking like, oh, he doesn't have his gun out, but he's literally lining up a fragment, so there is just no time. Like, there was nothing Kata could do from that point onwards because he held that PC utility. And yeah, Kadavra does an incredible job to make that one competitive. But now a 7-round attack streak, 9 in total. The economy of mates is not the best. Ultimate's not there either. They used a lot of them, but that's a big start. Zipan has been a menace in the last few, well, the last 7 rounds, maybe last 9 rounds. So him being gone early, maybe that can be the turning point. And it needs to be. They need 5 in a row of their own.
Well, again, this isn't just about Gentlemates edging out a victory. It has to be clear. It has to be concise, because from this point forward, they need to do it 4 more times. They picked off Zipan to start this round. It is a good start indeed. A passive play on B, almost allowing NAVI to get in and put that plant in play. Sometimes you'll see this when there's rolling thunders, even maybe a Hunter's Fury to deny plant and try to fight on the back of the ult. They don't have that on mates. The only ultimate there is for Takas, and I'm not sure that's going to help a ton. Paranoia used already by NAVI. Some utility expanded in the fight, trying to isolate Sagetsu. But he falls back with the pressure, ends up taking a duel on mid, and now they can reset 4 versus 4. Strong post plant on B. It's very hard to deny, and a late flank always in the back of your mind with Sagetsu lurking around.
He's gone all the way. And also he's getting the positions of all of these players. They're going to have absolutely no clue. Bayad's already gone. Taka still hasn't turned. The tank is trying to defend, but the fact is they're so focused on just trying to clear that man out, and in the meantime they're getting picked apart. It's left on to Whalers. His time to try and ace it. It will not be the case. 10 rounds in a row for NAVI, and a 10-map streak broken.
At long last, NAVI taste victory, and it's Gentlemate's map pick that they pick up. Now set up for a 2-0 if they can close their own choice of ascent. We'll find out if that's going to be the case after this.
I know a place that will break you into 1,000 pieces. Stay away from them. Stay away from Lorca, Paco, and Picasso. Don't ask about Lola. Ay, Caballo Grande. Ay, Dolor de Nieve. But in spite of everything, it occurs to you to visit Andalusia. Don't say I didn't warn you. Be careful of the Andalusian crush.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through Attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle, you're going to be able to fight this.
Red Bull gives you wings.